Transformers: The Last Night in 3D. That's right, this is the latest in the Transformers series. This is the fifth to be directed by Michael Bay, and the last one to be made. Stay tuned, there may be a sequel. Now, this is a 2017 release, a 2-hour and 34-minute film. Aspect ratios are all over the place. They go from 1.9 to 2.0 to 2.28 and 2.39. Aspect ratios are all over the place. Dolby Atmos sound, Dolby True HD 7.1 sound. This is 5.2 on International Movie Database. Out of 10, 5.2. 15% critics approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. 43% audience approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Michael Bay, as I said. Starring Mark Wahlberg. He's back as Cade. You got Anthony Hopkins as Sir Edmund. Laura Haddock as Vivian. You got Isabella Merced as Isabella. You got Jared Carmichael as Jimmy. Stanley Tucci as Merlin. And Jim Carter does a voice of a little robot called Cogman. So listen, the plot's all over the place. There's some good and bads about this movie, good and bad points. I'm going to talk a little bit about it overall in general, and then we'll hit the 3D. This basically was filmed all over the world. The filming locations were all over the world. This was a box office bomb. It took, I think it had a $230 million budget, grossed $600 million, but that equal to a $100 million loss for Hasbro and a $100 million loss for Paramount. So it was a bomb. Basically, the movie starts out in 484 AD. King Arthur's fighting the Saxons. He's losing the battle. And one thing I can say about Michael Bay is he does know how to film epic battle scenes. You can't take that away from Michael Bay. His battle scenes are absolutely epic. Fantastic battle scenes. And they work well with the 3D, which we'll get into in a minute. And so King Arthur's waiting for Merlin to show up. He needs some magic. Merlin's played by Tucci here, Stanley Tucci. He's a drunk. He has a little bit of humor in him. I really enjoyed that opening scene. I said, wow, this is setting up. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. And he gets handed a staff, and he uses it to help defeat the Saxons for King Arthur. And he's instructed to hide the staff because some great evil is going to be coming for it in the future. Then we move on to Optimus Prime, who's been floating through space, who now makes it to Cybertron. And on Cybertron, he meets Quintessa, who's supposedly the creator of everything, and blames Optimus Prime for the fall of Cybertron. And he needs to get back to Earth, and she makes him an evil character. Get back to Earth, get that staff. We need to suck all the energy out of Earth so we can rebuild Cybertron. Okay, and then back on Earth, you got Mark Wahlberg, who's protecting the robots and everything, and he's hiding them out in his junkyard. And his sidekick, Jimmy here, he brings a little bit of humor to it. But again, you don't see him only in the beginning, and then you don't see him to the end. You got this Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins in here, he's one of the better characters to follow. I like this character development in here. He's got to bring Wahlberg together. He's got to bring Vivian together, and he's got to bring Bumblebee together, and he needs to explain to them that the Transformers are on the Earth for the whole time, and this great evil's coming, and this is how we can defeat it, which I'm not going to tell you. Vivian plays an important role in here. And so let's talk about Laura Haddock as Vivian. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful woman. This is Michael Bay's Transformer eye candy that he always brings to the screen. She's absolutely beautiful. There's a scene in here but she's a professor. She's a professor at Oxford in this movie, so she's very intelligent. But Mark Wahlberg didn't believe it. He said, no, you can't be a professor and wear a dress like that. Nobody wears a dress like that and is a professor. And she goes, well, if my dress is bothering you, I'll take it off. I thought that was a funny line here that she did. Isabella Merced as Isabella. She plays a 14-year-old tomboy girl here. She's homeless after what happened in Chicago. In this movie here, she's cute. She's very cute. She's adorable. She is a little heartthrob to the little boys that follow her around. She plays a 14-year-old in here, but she's obviously a little more mature than that. In fact, I think she was 16 at the time that she filmed this movie. Now, she plays a good part. I wanted to get vested in her. I started to feel a little bit for her story, and then she's gone. And then she shows up at the end as with Jimmy and some other characters. And that's the thing about this. It just jumps all over the place, the plot. Stanley Tucci as Merlin, we already talked about him. This Jim Carter, this Cogman, he's a butler to Sir Edmund, played by Anthony Hopkins. And it's a funny guy. This little guy, he brings some humor to the movie, the Cogman. Cogman, Sir Edmund, and Cade, they were, to me, and Vivian, of course, were the best characters. All right, let's get into 3D now. The 3D is absolute reference quality, fantastic 3D. This is something you pop in and show somebody and say, hey, have you ever seen 3D before? Take a look at this, especially the third act, especially when they get underwater and they get in those submarines and there's jellyfish floating around in the room and it's a little specks coming by. Absolutely fantastic 3D, reference quality, depths that go on forever, colors that go on forever, swords coming out, sticking out of the screen when they're up above fighting. The whole fight and battle scene at the end, absolutely mind-blowing in 3D. Incredible, incredible. If I got any complaint at all about 3D, it's the switching aspect ratios. I mean, you're looking at this IMAX, and it was filmed IMAX 3D. You look at this IMAX screen, and then it cuts to the letterbox, and then it cuts to the IMAX screen, and it cuts to the letterbox, and it's IMAX, and it's letterbox, and letterbox, IMAX, and it's all over the place. And that really bothered me, but that's the only thing about 3D. So what am I going to do about this movie? How am I going to rate it? Listen, I want to say this about Michael Bay. Up until this movie, I didn't care about all the hate for Michael Bay in this. I didn't care about it. I figured he had a formula, sold tickets, he made money, they sold toys. People came, people bought tickets. Okay, I thought, even the one before this, I thought that was pretty good. Age of Extinction. Now, but I come here and I get it now. I get it. This plot is incoherent. There's too much going on here to say that I could get vested in this as a good movie. I just can't do it. Couldn't do it. So a lot of people are hoping Michael Bay does not make the next one. I kind of agree. I like this. Look, Transformers needs to change direction. It really does. It needs something new, something fresh. There's a hint at the end of this movie after the credits of a sequel, which is pretty cool. Hopefully somebody else will direct it. Like I say, you can't take away from his battle scenes, but the Michael Bay formula, I think it's played out. It's done now. Let's get something fresh. Let's get a new director. Let's move in a new direction. Let's get a nice, cohesive plot. We'll go with that, okay? So that's my take on this movie. Transformers: The Last Knight. For the movie itself, damn it, I want to give it 3 out of 5 stars for the movie. That's more like a 2.75 out of 5 for the movie. All right, the 3D, 5 out of 5 for the 3D. 5 out of 5 for the 3D. Absolutely fantastic. 5 out of 5. All right, I'm going to go 3 stars on the movie. I take that back. 3 stars for the movie, 5 stars for the 3D. Okay? All right, so what did you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it in 2D? Did you see it at the theaters in 3D? What did you think about it? Leave some comments below and let me know. All right? I really appreciate that. It helps me out. I want you to have a good night. Hit that like and subscribe button. I want you to stay safe. And as always, God bless.